Okay, so we're going to partition the data into two partitions, train and validation. Okay, and the partition node is under sample. Okay, there it is. Drop. So it says data partition, connect. Okay. Now to align these nodes, you can select that icon. Okay, so that will line them all up. And if you don't want left to right, you want to look at it top down, do top down like that. Okay, but left to right is good. Okay, it's a very simple, straightforward node. Okay, so you come here and give a percentage. What percent should be training? So let's say 60% training. Okay, so this doesn't automatically adjust the values to 100%. Okay, you can have more than 100% there. So all it will do is then it will just simply resample from the existing base data. Okay, but if it is 100%, then it will split into, a given data observation will not appear in both sets if the percentages sum to 100. If the percentages don't sum to 100, then a given observation will appear. Obviously, some observations will appear in more than one data set. Okay. All right. So that will create our partition, and then model. So here, that's your regression model. So drag and drop. Okay. All right, so now you can set up lots of modeling features can be set up very easily here. For example, you want two-factor interactions. Okay. So that means you'll take pairs of factors and multiply them and use them as new variables in the prediction. Okay. Then polynomial terms. You can say, I want polynomial terms, which means you'll take each x variable and compute the polynomial that you want, x squared, x cubed, and so on. All right. And okay, so that's polynomial degree. What degree of polynomial that you want. Okay. And if you want user terms, you can specify that. So I'm going to just keep the defaults. Now if you go down, and here is model selection. Okay, if you have a model selection of none, so that means all the variables that you have identified as input, okay, will be used in the regression model. Or you can select a model building algorithm, okay, backward, forward, and stepwise. So we'll talk about all this in chapter 6 in more detail. Okay, so right now we're going to just run the regression. Okay, now look at the results, and it gives you lots of output here, and we will study these results more detail later on. So right now let's just look at the output here. So it gives you the model, the ANOVA of the model, and look at some of the things that you need to note here is that, see, age and bedroom, they were interval variables. So we have just 1 degree of freedom. Remember, fireplace, floors, full bath, they were ordinal variables, right? Ordinal variables are categorical variables, right? It's not interval. If it is categorical variable, then the regression analysis will define dummy variables for them. Okay? If a categorical variable has k categories, how many dummy variables will be required to fully define that categorical variable? Remember? If you have k categories, you need k
plus 1.
minus 1. K minus 1. So if you have, like for example, gender, you have male and female. There are two possible values. All you need is one dummy variable. 0 will be one gender, 1 will be the other gender. Okay. If you have three categories, you need two dummy variables. If you have k categories, you need k minus 1 dummy variables, and SAS Miner will automatically generate those dummy variables for us because we have set the level or the type of variable in the metadata. We said that bedroom is interval, so it is going to treat that not as a categorical variable, it will be just regular variable. We said fireplace is an ordinal variable. Okay, and there are 5 possible values, so it defined 4 dummy variables. Same here, and so on. The categorical variable, how many distinct possible values are there for that categorical variable? How many categories are there? Right? So if k is the number of categories possible for that categorical variable, k minus 1 is the number of dummy variables you will need to fully define that variable. Okay, so now year built, okay, we define age, so year built is automatically rejected. Okay, so it's not in the analysis.